All right, welcome to day 4 of our general strength block number 3. So today we're going to have our kettlebell deadlift to high pull. That will be 3 sets of 8. Then we will have our open and close gate. That will be 3 sets of 5 on each side. All right, so for our kettlebell deadlift high pull, what you want to do is you want to set your feet outside of your kettlebell. All right, from here, you're going to grab the top. You can go down into a deep full squat and actually fully tap it on the ground if you can, or you can just go into a slight squat. From here, use your hips and your arms go up to the sky. Kettlebell goes to your chin. So all together, light squat, elbows all the way up to the sky, or full squat, elbows up to the sky as well. Your choice there. 8 reps. Then we're going to do open gate, close gate. You can do this over a bench, a box. If you have a rack next to you, anything that you have to where your knee can go fully up and over, your foot can tap on the floor and come all the way back. Now, what I do is I set my other foot almost perpendicular to what I have. So if it's a chair, set your foot perpendicular to the chair. My right foot's going to be back because that is the leg that I'm going to be using. I'm going to drive my knee all the way up and over, trying to make sure my knee goes to the sky and my toes are up. Tap it on the floor. Same thing coming back. So I'm going to close the gate and then I'm going to open the gate. Okay? So that'll be 5 on each side. All right, let's get started. Kettlebell deadlift to high pull. I'm going to go down into a full squat. Again, you do not have to. Just do what you can. Shoulders back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, onto the open and close gate. Again, foot perpendicular to the chair, or whatever you have, all the way up and over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, go into set 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Open gate, close gate. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, on to set 3. Last set here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Last open gate, close gate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, good job. That was our A block. Now we're going on to our B block. All right, so B block. So today we have our kettlebell swing. That'll be 3 sets of 10. And then we will have our seated mini band hip external rotation, and that's going to be 5 on each side. All right, so starting with the external rotation with the mini band. What you want to do is you want to be seated, preferably on the very end of a chair, okay, or whatever you can sit down, a box, whatever you have. From here, all you are going to do is externally rotate your hip outside of your body as far as you can and back to the middle. All the way out as far as you can and back to the middle. All right, so mini band is going to be directly above our knees right there. All right, then for the kettlebell swing, what we are going to do is you're going to slightly hinge your hips back. You can use a very light one if you have it. All right, so what we're going to do, grab the kettlebell just like we were for the deadlift. You're going to slightly sit your hips back. From here, my chest stays forward, slight bend in my knee, hips back. I'm going to use my hips, and then I'm going to swing the kettlebell up even with my shoulders, okay? So now with a very light kettlebell, it should be pretty easy. So just use slight bend and up to the top, okay? Now, if weight is too hard, you can do the exact same thing. Just pretend you have that weight, slight hinge. All right, so we're working on that hinge and that power movement through our hips, all right? So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our mini band external rotation of the hip. Again, band goes on the tops of our knees. Let's get going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now to our kettlebell swing. 10 of these. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. If you take a little bit longer on those, perfectly fine, all right? Starting on to our set 2. Really working on our hips today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, kettlebell swings. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Set 3. Last one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, kettlebell swings. Last one here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, good job. That was our B block. Now we're going to our C block. All right, C block. So we've got our dumbbell front raises. That'll be 3 sets of 10. Then we'll have our dumbbell 3-point row. That will be 3 sets of 5 on each side. Then we will have our dumbbell kickbacks, and that will be 3 sets of 10. So for our dumbbell front raises, what you're going to do is probably grab something a little bit lighter. All right, so from here, you're going to stand tall, or you can do this seated as well. But from here, shoulders back, you are going to bring your knuckles up to the sky, even with your shoulders. All right, try not to sit your hips back and use your body to swing it up. Try solely just to use your arms. All right, then we are going to do our dumbbell 3-point row. So you want to have a chair that you can put your hand on. So you'll have one hand in the chair. Come around on this side. So you have one hand in the chair. 3 points of contact. So you're going to have your feet on the floor. Make sure your back is as straight as you can be. All right, so from here, you're going to have that dumbbell. Elbow goes to the sky. Dumbbell goes outside of your ribs. All right. Then lastly, we will have our tricep extension or our dumbbell kickbacks. So from here, you will be in that bent over position. You can also do this seated as well in a chair if you would like. So from here, slight hinge in your hips. Try to be in that bent over row position. From here, my elbows are going to stay pinned to my ribs, and I'm going to fully extend my elbows and then come straight back to my shoulders. All right, so there will be 10 as well. So let's go ahead and get started on our set 1, dumbbell front raises. You got 10. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, 3-point row. Five on each side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, now for the kickbacks. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, starting over on our set 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now the rows. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now for the kickbacks. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, now for our third and final set here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now for the rows. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And kickbacks to finish this C block off. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Good job. That was our C block. Now we're going to our finisher. For our finisher, we will have 3 exercises, and we will go through them for 2 rounds, 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off. All right, so for our first one, it's going to be flutter kicks. So we're going to be laying supine, so on our back. You can have your hands underneath your bottom if you would like. So from flutter kicks, all we are going to do, extend our legs, squeeze our core. You can hold your shoulder blades up off the ground if you need to engage that core just a little bit more. And we're going to make small little kicks, alternating. All right. Then we are going to lay prone. So we are going to lay on our back here. And we're going to do Supermans. All right. So back extensions. All right. From this position, head facing the floor, you're going to do little baby Superman. So my hands come up off the ground and my feet come up off the ground at the same time. All right. Then lastly, what we are going to do is we're going to work on our grip strength. So any sort of piece of equipment that you have that you can grip and hold. All right. So you can use plates, grip and hold. If you have small enough dumbbells, you can grip and hold, or any sort of household equipment that you have where you can just stand and hold. Okay. So working on that grip strength there. All right, so let's start the clock and let's get going. All right, here we go. Starting out with those flutter kicks in 5. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. All right, flipping over onto that stomach. Three, 2, 1. Two, 1. All right, now we're going to that grip strength. Again, whatever piece of equipment you've got. And hold. Three, 2, 1. All right, starting back over last round. Ladder kicks. 5, 4. Here we go. Three, 2, 1. Flipping over onto that back. All right, step ups. Or grip strength. All right, that was day 4 of our general strength block. Have a great rest of your day. See you next time.